Enoch Nation has always been involved in business. In the late 40s, we found some oil and gas on our nation, so that really spiked the oil boom. That happened right up until the late 1980s. Oil started to crash, so they started looking at ways to diversify the economy. They started getting into some retail development with our gas station, but the main focus was on River Cree, our current resort and casino, and how to achieve that goal, and that goal became a reality in 2006. We're one of the biggest private employers in the Edmonton region. So like our members, if they want to work, they can. We employ close to 2,000 people. Early on in the Trans Mountain consultation process, there were these conversations happening in the background that there would be economic opportunities for the nation. So Enoch Nation really focused on, well, what opportunities should we explore within this Trans Mountain Pipeline project? And one of the main areas of focus of growth was to start up a construction company. So we had an existing construction company that operated in the late 80s and 90s. So the whole goal with Chief and Council was, how do we revitalize Enoch Construction? Starting a construction company or any company is very capital intensive. So it was, well, how can we create partnerships and turn those partnerships into long-term partnerships, creating revenue for the nation, creating employment opportunities for nation members.
So in 2017, we were still in consultation with Trans Mountain. They had a team that would come to the community and say, here's some opportunities that are coming up on the pipeline. Here's some businesses that you might think about starting. So they were still in that phase. Here's some employment and training things. And we took off and created some partnerships with industry and continued to venture more and more into the world of pipelines.
For the first 6 months, we strategized, well, where do we really want to focus? Our nation is located just beyond the industrial heartland, so we thought, well, what services are those industries going to need beyond Trans Mountain? So we didn't want Trans Mountain pipeline to come through. It was like, okay, we built up this awesome construction company, built up these awesome partnerships, and then everything went away when the project ended. We wanted to be able to carry on those partnerships that we created to new industry projects that are happening now and ones that are coming into the future.
We started to grow our partnership list as things became available at Trans Mountain to work on the pipeline, from civil to surveys to security to safety to medical. We gathered partnerships that had a same like-minded interests as us. So people and companies that hearts and minds were in the same spot to give back to the communities, knowing that, you know, the community's revenue would benefit the community, jobs would benefit the community, charitable donations to the community, scholarships to the community. We managed to put all of that together into one package and work with Trans Mountain on those things along with our partners. And not only did we build the pipeline or help build the pipeline with our partnerships, but we also got to work on the facility at Trans Mountain Pipeline. We created a partnership with a tank cleaning company, and we were successful in that. So we are now expanded, not just to work on pipelines. We work on solar, wind, carbon capture. We have companies that we're in partnership with that can perform all of those things for the industry.
One of the key focuses that we thought when we were creating partnerships were, how are these partnerships going to last beyond the Trans Mountain Pipeline? So how can we position ourselves with work within our traditional territory on other industry projects? So one of the main things that we require if we are potentially looking at a partnership is that they automatically have to do a community investment, put aside money for a community investment to fund something in the community. They also have to set aside scholarship dollars for our post-secondary students.
Education is our buffalo. And if we don't educate our people, we'll be stagnant nation. We want our people to thrive, and we want our people to be successful. So education is very important. Scholarships are very important to us. You cannot work with us unless you donate to a scholarship.
This year, Enoch Construction actually gave $30,000 towards our post-secondary students in scholarships for all of Enoch Cree Nation's post-secondary students to access. Enoch Construction doesn't manage it. We leave it to our post-secondary department to manage, but we've provided them with a check of $30,000 so they can do scholarships for our post-secondary students.
Our nation has a strategy to take care of its people. Our goal is to create beautiful human beings, and that's the way that we do it. We feed into the brighter picture that the nation, the leadership has set for us. In order to ensure the success of Enoch Construction Limited, after the Trans Mountain Pipeline, it was very clear and evident that we needed to pursue ownership of companies, and also not only ownership, but also to pursue other projects on other pipelines, other facilities, etc.
What we've done was we've used the revenues that we received from Trans Mountain to acquire businesses that are within our partnerships. Some of them are joint ventures. We've acquired different assets.
Now we own 10 companies, where ECL was just an incorporated entity sitting on the shelf. Now we own 10 companies underneath us.
Having ownership in our actual construction company now, we are able to provide our members with job opportunities that would not have been there before the project started. So people have been able to turn those into careers, right? So not all of our members want to work at the casino as a casino host, as a blackjack dealer, as a receptionist at the hotel, where we needed to provide them other opportunities, those blue collar jobs. So there's a lot of people that still like to get their hands dirty. So that was one of the big things, is like, well, people that like to operate heavy equipment, how are we going to get them in the equipment and being able to stay in that business, right? So, and that's one of the things, are people like to drive trucks, so we bought hydrovac trucks, and then now they have the opportunity to work on our construction company as well.
We are owners of power. We are owners now, equity owners with carbon capture. We're equity owners with renewable diesel, and pretty soon probably blue hydrogen. Enoch wants to continue to work in the renewable space. That is the key goal of our leadership today. And having those equity ownerships in the larger picture when it comes to carbon capture and renewable diesel and power, it means that the nation will thrive for the next 7 generations, because that's residual income. And that's really important to us, so that we also leave this earth for our children and their children and their children.